Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial on Google Classroom. And in this particular session, I'm going to take you through how to seamlessly integrate Google Meet with Google Classroom. That's right. Now, if you have your students on the same domain as you don't have much to worry about because Google Classroom has a seamless integration of Google Meet with the Classroom interface, and that can just be done by toggling a switch on for the Meet link to be activated. When that is done, your students will be able to teleport themselves from the classroom into the Meet platform as per the schedule. However, if your students are not on the same domain as you are and they are not on the G Suite plans, any one of them, then this could be a pretty challenging task. But there are some ways to work around this limitation, so let's dive right in to know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to my Classroom account. I've already created a trial classroom for this purpose, so let me go into the trial classroom. Now, the first thing you would want to do is to collect the email IDs of all your students. And to do that, the best thing to do within the interface of Google Classroom is to set up an assignment. So let me go to classwork and I'll click on create, and I want to create a quiz assignment for them. It opens up a new window for me to create the assignment. So there is a space to write down the title. So I say that the title is student information, and I put in some instructions. Please log in using your Google accounts. So I've given them some instructions like please log in using your Google accounts, the same one with which you have the classroom, and fill in the enrollment details. So let me go ahead and edit the form. So this is what a blank form would look like. I would like to edit out the title, so I put this as student information, and I want questions as name. It automatically recognizes the head and converts it into a short answer question. I need to have it as a required field. I add another head as unique identification number, and once again make this required. I have a third head. The most important is on emails. Now you can either collect the email as one of the question heads in your form, or there is another better way. It says suggestion enable email collection setting. So I click on that head disappears, but it says this form will collect email addresses. So to be able to modify the settings, I go to the settings tab. Collect email addresses is already checked. I would like to uncheck restrict to users of my institute, and I would like to limit to one response. Right. See the other options. I don't want to make it a quiz. The rest of it looks good, so I click on save. Before I go ahead, I also would like to change the name of the form to student information. Right. Once that's it, all the changes get saved in the drive. So I go back to the classroom. I say that this assignment is ungraded. If I'm working on a schedule and I want them to submit it before a certain due date, put in the due date for them, and I assign it to the student communication topic which was created during the last tutorial video. If everything looks good, I uncheck the grade importing. As it is, it's ungraded, so that's inconsequential, but I go ahead and assign it to my class. Alright, so let me see how it looks from the student logging point of view. Right, as I log in as the student, it already tells me that there is something due for me to do. I can go ahead and click that so that I directly move into the assignment that is due for me to complete. There is a title and there are some instructions that my course instructor has given. I dive straight into the Google form and I go ahead and key in my email ID, my name, and some unique identification number or roll number, whatever fits your institute. Once that is done, I go ahead and submit the form. Okay, so I have gone ahead and submitted the Google form as both the students were connected to this classroom. Let me see how that looks from the instructor point of view. So I go to classwork. As I drop down, I see under student communication this assignment of student information has been turned in by all the students to whom it was assigned to. Now, how do I access the form and extract the information from the form? To do that, let's open up another tab and visit forms.google.com. As the window opens, I see the latest form as titled student information. I open that. Once the form opens, I see that there are 2 responses to the form already. And as I open the responses, I have an option to create a spreadsheet with all the information from the forms extracted into rows and columns. So I go ahead and create a spreadsheet. I create a new spreadsheet, hit on the create button. It says linking to a spreadsheet and opens up a new tab with the spreadsheet. Alright, so the spreadsheet is open. What you see now is a column that's going to be very crucial for you to link the Google Meet to your Google Classroom, which is all the email IDs, which you're going to use to populate the guest list on your Google Meet. So what I'll just do is select all the email IDs that have come in this column and copy them to my clipboard. Right. Simultaneously, I go back to the classroom that I have, go to classwork, and in classwork I have a Google Calendar here which allows me to schedule things for my students. I click on Google Calendar. Once your calendar opens up for the default account that you're connected to, you can schedule your lecture. Now, to do that, you will have to select the date on which you want to schedule your class. Let me do it right away just for demonstration, and let me title it as lecture 01. And where you have the add guests, I just paste all the email IDs that I collected from the Google form. Now, additionally, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to drop down here on the calendar and select the trial setting class so that my students' calendars with respect to that class also gets updated with this information. Now, this is very, very handy because you would then not have to share the meeting ID with your students because they'll have all of that populated in their own calendars with respect to their classroom. Right? So once you're done, if all the settings look good, you click on save. It asks, would you like to send invitation emails? I prefer not sending. I want my students to look at their calendars and attend the lectures. And it also prompts me that there are people outside the organization, of course, because they don't belong to the same domain, and I allow that. Once that is done, the event is created, right? So let's see how this looks in the student calendar. So I go to classwork from my student account, go to calendar, right? Now let's see how this is so convenient because you don't have to individually keep accepting the entry for individual students into your Google Meet because you've added all of them into your guest list for the Google Meet. And you don't even need to share the meeting ID with your students because they need to routinely keep checking their Google calendars. They can set reminders on this Google Calendar so that they are reminded 10 minutes or 20 minutes before the lecture is scheduled so that they can be prepared and attend the class. So let's see how this works. So I'll go to the calendar for the teacher's account. I'll go to this class and say join with Google Meet. That opens up a new window with the Meet. Once the Meet window opens, all you need to do is join. So we are inside our Meet now. Now let me go to the calendar of the student account and try and see what happens there. I click on the event that has been scheduled and I say join with Google Meet here. So here I've logged in to my Meet through the Google Calendar and it's asking me whether I want to join now. I click that. And if you see, I'm automatically in. There are 3 accounts now, one of them which I'm accessing, the instructor's account, and I have 2 different accounts which are parallelly running, both of them being my student accounts, and all of them are able to join the classroom without me having to admit each one of them. So that's an overview of how you can collaboratively use Google Meet with Google Classroom. Remember the steps. The first one is to create an assignment for your students whereby you collect all their email IDs. Once you get them in a CSV format or an Excel sheet, you copy and paste it to your guest list in Google Meet and schedule the meeting through the calendar that is available in your classroom. Once you do that, your calendars of the students also gets updated with the meeting link available for them for every event that is created. All they need to do is go to the event, click on the link, and they'll be connected to your class. So that's how you can integrate Google Classroom with your Google Meet. And the things that you need to remember are: first, create an assignment for your students asking for all the requisite information that you might need, especially the email IDs. Once you get all the submissions to your form that you've generated, export it and extract it into a Google spreadsheet. From the spreadsheet, copy all the email IDs to populate your guest list on the Google Meet platform. And when you're generating the Google Meet event, do that from the calendar that is available built into your Google Classroom. And that's how you should be able to work around the limitation even if your students are not on the same domain. See you on another tutorial for Google Classroom.